Before we begin, I would like to encourage everyone that while you scroll through your socials, that please also take the time to read up on the current events around the world today and try to understand the issues that affect you directly and those that you don't know may affect you one way or another, or even those that affect you in no way but affect the people around you. It is not too late to speak up and stand up for what is right. I will put links in the description box below on things that you could read and ways that you could help. Hey guys, it's Lyra, and in today's video I will be altering 3 dresses, so let's get right to it. The first one is this long sleeve yellow dress from the thrift store that I only got for 10 pesos. It's a really cute dress. I love the color and the fabric, but it's too short for me and I don't really like the collar that is on it, so I'm going to do something about that. First thing I did is I marked the new neckline that I wanted. So I did about 2 inches away from the collar. 2 inches is about halfway from the shoulder to the collar, which I think is a good enough measurement. And I proceeded to cut away the fabric that I didn't want. Before any fraying happens, I hem the neckline first by folding the neckline twice and then doing a running stitch on top of it. I'm turning this into a blouse, so I marked 5 inches away from the waistband and then put some pins before cutting it so that the lining will be even with the outer layer. And now I'm putting pins on the hem so that it would be easier for me to do the hem once I'm on the sewing machine. The hemming that I did was kind of difficult because I joined together the lining and the outer layer, so I recommend that you hem them separately. And here's the final look. I can definitely see myself wearing this for smart casual looks. This second dress is also yellow. I love the yellow shade of this dress and I love that it's a very light fabric, but the hem of the sleeve feels like it's cutting my circulation, so I want to get rid of that garter. It also ends at a weird length, so I want to trim that. I started off by removing the buttons because I have an issue with them as well. The back side is apparently prettier than the front side, so I'm flipping it over. When I tried on the dress earlier, I had already pre-measured how much of it that I wanted to cut off, so I measured about 4 inches from the hem and then I cut that off. To remove the garter from the sleeve, I just seam ripped a teeny tiny portion of the hem and then I cut the garter and then pulled it out. Another issue with this dress is that the buttons are too far apart, so when I lean forward, it tends to reveal stuff that I don't want to. So I stitched together the last 4 buttonholes and where the buttons go. And then I proceeded to hem the bottom of the dress the same way that I hemmed the neckline of my previous dress. And here I am closing the area that I seam ripped on the sleeves. Now all I have left to do is to reattach the buttons, and I am choosing to attach the prettier side up. And I did this by hand, but you can also do this by machine. And here is the final look. I am loving this length and that the sleeves don't cut my circulation anymore. And this last dress is a blue number. I am in love with this dress. I got this 5 years ago, but it doesn't fit me anymore. I could never zip the back of it anymore. And because I love the back detail and the fabric, I'm going to salvage this dress. First thing I did is to separate the top and the bottom part, and I tried to save the zipper for future use, so I tried to cut around it. I want to maintain the open back detail, so I am planning out what I want to do and trimming away the excess fabric. For the bottom part, I wanted to turn it into an A-line skirt, so I took an existing A-line skirt and then I cut off enough fabric for it. And the excess fabric I'm going to use as straps for the ribbon that I'm going to put on the top. Here I'm just hemming all of the edges so that there won't be any fraying. This process was a bit difficult because the fabric is kind of thick and there's also some lining, but I got through it. Now for the bottom edge. This was the most difficult part because there were some pleats in the original design, so there was more fabric in those pleated areas. But I got through this one as well, so that's good. Now for the straps of the ribbon. I just folded the strips that I cut off in half and sewed it shut right sides together. That I will just invert later so that the stitches are clean from the outside. Here I'm using a blunt end of the barbecue stick to push the outside in. After making 2 straps, I then attached it to the waistband of my top. I cut the skirt fabric strategically so that I only have to sew one end. First stitch I did was wrong sides together, then put it inside out, then stitched right sides together so that I could hide all the fraying edges. I cut off the excess of the zipper and some unwanted parts, and then I proceeded to eyeball some darting based on the folds and the pleats that the dress previously had. To finish it all off, I closed off the top of the skirt the same way that I hemmed the other 2 dresses. And once I was done, my needle broke. But anyway, here's the final look. I love the backless detail of this blouse and that the skirt fits me so nicely. I bought a really cute dress in college, but this is my style now.
And that is it for today's video. I hope you guys like this. See you again next time. Bye!